What does it mean to be sensitive to individuals and bias-free in text? There are several ways the bias can be inserted into text. First, we will discuss person-first language. When discussing study participants or people in the region of interest, you focus on the person rather than any other characteristics. For instance, if you are concerned with accommodations for wheelchair users or others with disabilities, you should use wheelchair users rather than wheelchair-bound, and a person with a disability as opposed to disabled person. Furthermore, when discussing people who do not have homes, unhoused persons should be used instead of homeless. It adds dignity to their situation and removes bias. Another important consideration is sex and gender. Authors should be careful in determining whether they are discussing sex or gender. Sex is a biological attribute, whereas gender is fluid and a social construct. If conducting a study and separating participants, authors must distinguish whether the participants are divided by sex or gender, as well as include their rationale indicating which has been chosen and why. Furthermore, the gender of a person should never be assumed. If it is unknown, use the third person plural they. It is important that no assumptions of belief or superiority of a particular group are made. This adds unnecessary bias and can skew your results. Exclusionary or offensive language should also be avoided. This is important in coding where such terms as master and slave are common. In place of these, primary and secondary are preferred. Many journals will have their own list of inclusive and unbiased language included with submission information. Therefore, it is best to read these guidelines during writing to avoid any issues.